Welcome to the Cake Therapy Podcast, a slice of joy and healing with your host, Dr. Altricia Foster. This is a heartwarming and uplifting space that celebrates the transformative power of baking therapy. The conversations will be a delightful blend of inspirational stories, expert insights, and practical baking tips. Each episode will take listeners on a journey of self-discovery, emotional healing, and connection through the therapeutic art of baking. There's something here for everyone, so lock in and let's get into it.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Cake Therapy Podcast, your slice of joy and healing with me, your host, Altricia Foster. Today, guys, you're going to be in for a treat. Your slice of joy and healing comes all the way from Brisbane, Australia. We are joined by the one and only, the Luminaire, a Luminaire in the baking community. She's an executive chef. She's a master baker. Her collection of trend-setting cakes are just pure works of art. She's been featured in Vogue, in Lane, to name a few. I am excited. I am really overjoyed and excited to welcome into this space cake artist Marina Machado. Welcome to the Cake Therapy Podcast.
Oh, Tricia! Thank you so much for having me. What an absolute pleasure. It's my pleasure to be here with you. To be honest with you, I barely left last night.
Why?
I was just so excited to talk to you. It has been a while already. I saw you in February this year.
Yeah.
But the connection that we had was so deep that I'm always thinking about you. I'm cooking and thinking about your journey, and we really deeply connected, right, through cake.
I absolutely agree with you. It's amazing what cake can do for people to bring them together, but then it's amazing what cake can do to heal people and to connect through that healing that cake brings to everyone. So
it is incredible. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. So guys, I tell you that this woman here is a magician in the kitchen. She's a magician in her studio. And, we were like scanning to see like what we're going to talk about. When I met Marina in February, I knew what her voice would mean and bring to this space. But before we get into the conversation, I want Marina to tell me about her last cake on her page. Tell me about
Oh my God, which one is that?
The last post you made is almost like a vase.
It's a vase, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Tell me, how did you get there? Tell me about it.
I don't know. So this is the thing about my cakes. The idea comes through and I have no idea how I'm going to achieve it.
Mm-hmm.
I just had an idea in an idea of movement that I want to bring, and I'm like, my God, how am I gonna get there? Which medium am I gonna use? And especially that cake, the last one I posted.
Yeah.
The last two vases I posted, they will live deep in my heart. I made them in a moment where I was bleeding inside. Hey, my heart was. I was going through very deep healing this year. I've been through deep healing, and this cake got me through the very tough part of the healing. And by making the cake and kindly bringing that soft shape to it,
right?
Simply, I don't know how to explain. Someone said something in my social media phrase. I don't remember the words really, but that cake is so simple, but at the same time, so I don't know, it's breathtaking in itself. Throughout trying to bring that soft movement and that shape in 2 days of making it just washed my soul. It really did. And
it's incredible.
Yeah, that cake truly, it's a change on the journey. in cake design, because until that point, my cakes were expressing a lot of my angry voice, my sadness, just my scream to the world about my frustration of my story, my whole story as a woman, as a mother, as a child. So I was going with many mediums, many forms, unshaped, imperfect, raw. And this one, for the first time, was accepting who I really am, and not need to tell the world with so much emphasis. Just being. So
it's amazing, Marina, and I'm very happy that I asked you about that, because I was like, where did Marina get this from? Because I know she bakes from such a deep and spiritual place. But share with our guests, who is Marina? Share with us your upbringing in Brazil. Start there. Your early life in Brazil. Your energy around.
Okay.
Talk to me. Tell us.
Pretty much, I'm a full-on Brazilian, right? Yeah. I think I can't really hide that. I've got this, energy that I think everyone gets, and for some people it might be a lot, but for the ones that I really need to connect, that life put me with, it really sticks to people. I've got that energy, right? I can't really stop, can I?
Right.
So back in Brazil, I'm from a state called Minas Gerais. In Brazil, there is a food culture that's very separated by states, right? And where I'm from, the state I'm from, is very, very known for its food. It's a very local food that just we can cook. It's deep. It's the traditional families carrying it, the mothers teaching the daughters, and the grandmothers and the great-grandmothers all getting together to make lunch together, to eat lunch, and then at the same time get ready to start making dinner. It's where we gather. The houses have big kitchens. The kitchen is together with the living room and so on, and that's the place to be.
Right.
Okay. I come from a family with deep cooking roots, and we spent a lot of time at my mom's farm cooking with my 4 sisters. We come from big families, and I grew up like that. You see. So throughout my life, look, Brazil, developing country, you're fighting not to be poor. So the families, middle class families, tend to chase the money, right? So you go to university, and you gotta think about pretty much your parents. Behind the scenes, they teach you, go get a career to get your money, not be poor, and enjoy life.
Yeah.
I mean, plain. I'm being plain, and I don't want to offend anyone, but that was my family.
Yeah.
And therefore, I went to uni. I wanted to be social worker or a vet or a doctor, but then my parents were like, nah, social work won't bring you any money and blah, blah. My God, got into the whole pressure and ended up doing business management. Ran some of my little family's businesses around, a mushroom company at my mom's farm that we had, and then was not giving much money. And my dad used to work in financial markets, and Dad said to me, hey, come here, let's do this. Let me teach you this. And I got into financial markets. From there on, long story short, went to London to do my master's degree. I did in information management. The whole idea was to go back to Brazil and keep going with financial markets. But, thank goodness I met my husband.
That's good. Like he said, thank goodness she met her husband. But I have what made you want to do social work? Because you said you wanted to get into social work. What was driving that for you, and not as opposed to the financial or the economic aspect, the business aspect that was your family was driving? What was pushing you in that social work direction?
Oh, Tricia, now if I look back from when I was young and until now, what I'm going through, it's a forever journey of healing, you see. And healing, maybe healing myself through others, that need of a connection where you can mirror people, and then you actually go like, oh wow, let me think about what this is happening. Let me think about it and how what is it for me? Because it's not the help, it's not just helping others, it's helping you too, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Teaching around as I'm doing is exactly that. I came back from the teaching at in Canada where I met you, and I was for 2 months in deep healing from that teaching because of you.
Yeah. So you find that giving back has helped you to really heal,
Yes,
from the things that you've been through.
So it's always, you see, I am an advocate of being real. Okay, so this world of social media and this visual connection we have with, it's just we are bombarded with visuals, aren't we, nowadays?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And in social media, which is a big part of my business, because I started sharing some behind the scenes in my kitchen, and my social media became so big.
Yeah.
One thing that I struggle a lot is this fake world on social media. And I'm always there telling, come on guys, come back to reality here. This is all very nice. You see me going to amazing venues, delivering awesome wedding cakes, but I'm struggling. I deal with PTSD, I deal with depression, I deal with high functioning anxiety, and all of that comes from a big trauma I had back in my life when I was young. It was so big in my life, so big that I actually forgot about it. So my brain shut down all the memories from those traumas in my childhood, and I could not remember. But if I look back, I lived by reacting through the trauma I lived. So I was always very anxious, always very irritated, always just unsettled, living in adrenaline. That. And pretty much I got lost, completely lost. And when I met my husband is amazing. He's such a kind soul. And he's got a kind, amazing heart. And he said to me, are you happy doing what you're doing? How about, what are we going to teach our kids when we decide to have a family? Are we going to teach them to chase money? Because you don't seem happy to me. And I wanna be an example for our kids instead of a parrot, like just telling them. It's by example. And we both decided to start chasing our passion. But then, Tricia, I lived a life until then that I was just doing what I was told to do. And by the time I decided to follow my passion, I didn't know what my passion was.
Oh.
I was so lost in so many years of following a path that my family set for me, my family wanted for me. And I realized that my entire life, I was just living by pleasing people. And then at that time, I didn't know about my trauma. I just realized because the first person in my life, my hubby, asked me, what do you like doing? And I'm like, oh, my God, does it matter? You know what I mean? And I'm like, actually it matters because I'm not happy. And then I started my journey trying to find who Marina is. That's where it started in London 14 years ago.
Yeah.
So from there on, how did I read some books to try to help me to get my passion going. What is Marina passionate about? And reading some books, I remember just the idea of, what do you spend your spare time? What do you like doing? Because I never had hobbies, you see.
Yeah.
How funny is that? No hobbies. And then I'm like, oh, I'm always in the kitchen cooking. Always. I love cooking.
And that's how you got there.
I go deep into it. It's like it's something I can't help. I feel unsettled. I want to cook something warm to just warm my body and make me feel home. And I have that. And I always had that.
Yeah. So you know what I find interesting is like there is a common thread in each of our baking stories. When I speak to bakers, there is this common thread, especially in mine and especially in yours, right? It's how we started pursuing something else, but we ultimately ended up doing other things in the professional world of baking.
That's right.
For me, that was the vaccine science and all of that. So you made this move to London to pursue your studies in business, but you found yourself cooking again. What was that transition like, especially in the way that it served your soul?
I know, it was so hard, to be honest, because I had no idea what I was doing. There is one part of it, which is I love cooking. How am I going to pay my bills? Okay? I never liked finance. It was always a push for me to learn it. To trade in financial market. But cooking was like, I want to know more. Buy this, buy the book. Oh my God, did you try this? Let's plant basil in the community garden. Let's, all of that. And however, we wanted to have a family. How are we gonna, and I had no money, by the way. I was broken, completely broken. So I'm like, how am I gonna transition chefs in the UK? They don't earn good money. Chefs in general don't earn good money. But we were ready to do what it takes to be happy, not chase money, pay the bills that we needed to pay to have an okay lifestyle. We are simple people, okay? And then Simon said to me, my husband said to me, he had some spare money at the time, and he said to me, if you love cooking so much, and you do love cooking, you are always cooking, why don't you pursue a course in culinary school? And I'm like, I've got no money. I'm old to be a chef. Chefs start when they are 14 as apprentices, and they move forward. I think I was 26 at the time. 26 or 27, and he went like, look, I've heard about an amazing culinary school here. It's Le Cordon Bleu, which I don't know how to pronounce properly because it's a French name, but I'm like, I can't afford it. This is ridiculous. And he's like, you know what? Let's invest in our lives, and let me pay this for you. And he paid the course for me. And that was the start of a crazy time in my life where I was in culinary school, and at the same time I got a job as a chef at a 2 Michelin-starred restaurant back in London, and I was working 17 hours per day and waking up. And then on my day off, I would go to school, and I was juggling all of that to try to learn as much as I could from the best chefs in the world.
Yeah.
But it was a journey, Patricia, that I will ever forget. If I close my eyes, I can go there in a minute.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. However, a very difficult one thing is the idea, MasterChef, all those shows on TV. They make us feel very excited about cooking. However, making money out of cooking as a chef in the industry is a tough one. And the hours are tough.
Yeah. I've heard that the hours for chefs are really, really difficult. And you mentioned working with Michelin-starred chefs. And I've read where you said that you found yourself making pastries at the Mandarin Oriental in Knightsbridge, right? One of the great pastry kitchens of London. Tell me, Marina, what does this experience mean? How big of a deal was this to you after you got this opportunity?
Look, those were fond memories. My God, I could go back there to cook like that.
Sounds like a party.
Oh, it was so good. So what happened when I was at school in London? The situation is my heart was always divided between cuisine and pastry, pâtissier. I couldn't afford both courses. We didn't have the money. We had the money to afford one course. And then I did cuisine. So I was doing cuisine at Le Cordon Bleu. And I was trying to learn from my friends at school that were doing the two courses. I'm like, please just teach me something. I love cooking pastry. And they would come to me after their classes. They would come to me with the cakes that they made, and they would share with me. And I'm like, oh my God, how did you make that? I would have friends around to teach me and so on. So I tried to soak in as much as I could of that knowledge through friendships, that they could pay for it. But then I worked at Michelin-starred in cuisine with Marcus Waring. And during work, I would, when the girls from pastry were calling sick, then the head chef would come and say, who wants to replace pastry girls? And all the guys would go like, oh, no, I'll never do that. And I'm like, me, get me. And that was it. That was the start of having work experience in the pastry kitchen, which is separated. In places like that, they are separated kitchens. The cuisine doesn't share the pastry kitchen. But because of smells and utensils with garlic and so on, you don't put in pastry. But then when I was at school, one of the pastry chefs that used to teach there, she made cakes for the queen. She was a massive pastry chef. And her friend got a job at the Mandarin Oriental as an executive chef. And he said, look, I need some people to work here for us to create a new team and so on. Why don't you put on the Le Cordon Bleu board that I have positions available for interview? And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to apply. And I'm like, oh my God, they're going to say no because I don't have background in pastry. And I just went on the interview. I just said to the guys, please just get me. I'm going to learn. I'm going to be a sponge. I'll do whatever you want. Just teach me. And the guy was like, okay, must have thought, oh my God, I'm just going to let her in. She's crazy. But
I can imagine.
It was amazing. I cooked divine afternoon tea in London. The little cute desserts everywhere and room service to all the pastries for it. We had a big kitchen at Mandarin Oriental that we were actually 3 pastry kitchens at the time. We were Mandarin Oriental pastry kitchen, Heston Blumenthal pastry kitchen in the same kitchen but different brigade. And then there was another one, Babalu, which is one Michelin star, all were in the same kitchen. And we were just a nice team together, sharing a kitchen in 3 brigades and sharing some pastry love. So the amount that I learned in that kitchen was absolutely horrendous.
Yeah. So do you think that that's where your love for pastry and cakes started? Did it start there? Because you
No.
loved cooking overall, right? You loved cooking. But so tell me.
Absolutely loved cooking. Yeah. My passion for pastry comes from a deep addiction to sugar. I love sugar. Absolutely love it. And I can change my 3-course meal, entree, main, dessert for 3 desserts. I am a person that I need to watch out because the addiction, oh my God, sugar high is so good, isn't it? But it's a problem because it's not very healthy.
Yeah.
But since I was young, and I remember this vividly, I can taste it in my mouth, just talking about it. Since I was young, my treat as a little girl, when my parents wanted to take us for a treat, they would ask, and I'm like, I want to go to the cake shop. I want to choose, like, Brazilians, our background in cuisine is Portuguese, right?
Yep.
The little tarts, the little chocolates, very deep pastry cuisine in Brazil. It's a lot of condensed milk, like a lot. Cakes are heavy. So I grew up like that. And there was a famous cake shop where I'm from, where I knew each taste, each cake. And by my mood on the day, I would go for the deep flavor one, and there was one that was the hazelnut one. And I loved that hazelnut cake. It was a tart cake, a lot of mousse, a lot of chocolate. And one day, I was 12 years old. I went to eat my hazelnut toast, and I realized that the chef had changed the recipe. I couldn't taste 100% the little sugary, it was the praline. He changed the recipe, and the praline was not the same. And I'm like, I wrote a letter to the 12 years old. I wrote a letter to the pastry place saying, I am a customer concerned about what's happening. I come here every week for the hazelnut cake, and you guys changed the recipe. It's not as good as before.
What did they say? Did they write you back?
They must have. Can you imagine reading that to the chef? Oh my God, the chef thinking a 12-year-old telling me off. But I was right. Hey, they changed the recipe back.
Did they? Well, that's good advocacy for you right there. We did all of this at Mandarin Oriental in the UK. But you mentioned your hubby. He's Australian. Talk to us about how you transitioned from the UK to Australia and into Marina Machado cakes that we all talk about on the internet. Let's talk about you leaving the UK and how did you start making cakes?
So pretty much, again, we wanted, we lived in London. I lived there for almost 4 years. And I was always homesick. Tropical Brazil, sun is out, humidity is high. That feeling of, the sun. I really miss the sun. So I was getting homesick in London. And Simon is Australian. He's half Australian, half English. And he said to me, look, let's go to Australia because maybe you will like it. And then I said, you know what, let's visit and then we'll see. And then we came here and visit and I fell in love. Here is just absolutely stunning. We are located in Southeast Queensland, which you get both worlds here. Where I live is a mix of, I'm back home, but not being home back in Brazil. I am in my mom's farm in Australia. That's how I feel. And the infrastructure, of course, is you can still live a life in a farm, but you have the city right there, very close by. So he brought me here to a place called Tambourine Mountain. His parents live close by, and he had a piece of land here that he wanted to build a house. And I came here, and I'm like, I love this. This is it. This is where we are gonna have a family. I just knew it instantly. And then we are like, okay, let's leave London. We backpacked for 3 months in Southeast Asia. I wanted to learn the cuisine there because I absolutely love Asian cuisine. And I wanted to get that fusion because cuisine in Australia, there is a massive fusion with Asian cuisine. And I wanted to learn that. So 3 months in Southeast Asia, then Australia. Hit Australia hard. Came here, worked in Michelin. I've got all the experience. Come here, give it to me. I'm going to hit the kitchen very hard. The problem was, I'm not in Melbourne. I'm not in Sydney. I am in the Gold Coast.
Okay.
Cuisine in the Gold Coast is not as known as the cuisine in Melbourne and in Sydney here in Australia. Here is a bit more like, let's have a laid-back lifestyle, enjoy nature, relax, hug a koala and a kangaroo, you know. And I hit the kitchens down in the Gold Coast thinking it's just going to be like back in London. I'm just going to work 17 hours, but I'm cook amazing food.
Yeah.
Came here, didn't like the food and didn't like the hours I was working. And then Simon and I started thinking about having a family, and I'm thinking, how am I going to be a mom?
Yeah.
Working 15, 16 hours every day. And when you're working in high end things like that, Tricia, your mindset becomes a little like an army mindset. You see, you are trained as a chef to push, that adrenaline all the time, to cook the best food, blah, blah, blah. I was going with that mindset, but the adrenaline hitting me. But then my husband saying to me, are we going to have a family? Are we like, what? Oh, okay, got pregnant. Had Clara, my thing, the cute little thing. And was hitting the restaurants still so hard, high hours. And I missed a lot of my daughter's childhood. Her first year, her second year, I was working every weekend, all days on the weekend, every evening, right? Those are chef's hours.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where is this taking me, right? I don't want to miss out on why did I become a mom then?
Yeah.
If I have a choice, what will be my choice? So that's when bits of Marina Machado cakes started in my life. Because I also missed cooking pastry. Every time I'm cooking cuisine, I miss cooking pastry. So I come back home and I just bake. I'm working baking, then I miss cuisine. So I come back home and I cook savory all the time. That's my house. Yeah. So on my spare time, what was Marina doing? Cooking cakes for friends for free. I would cook cake here. It's your birthday. Can I cook a cake for you? Yeah, and then Marina got cooked cake. Do you like the cake? Can you eat the cake? I would watch people with my cake like, tell me, what do you think? How about the flavor? Tell me more about it. Can you taste this? Can you taste that? Very particular, yeah?
Yeah, like in a test, an exam, right?
I know. Don't get the word wrong. Just tell me the truth. So pretty much, by the time I actually this could become a business. I was actually asking for time off work to cook cakes for people, and I'm like, but it doesn't make sense because I'm giving cakes for free. I still need to pay my bills. I still need the money. Everyone is asking for cakes, and I'm taking time off work to cook cakes, and I'm missing time with my family. And I'm here. Oh, maybe this could be a business. Yeah. Then my neighbor next door had a cooking school here where I live, and she was retiring. And she said to me, Marina, I'm retiring. Do you want my kitchen for free? And I'm like, what? Like, what do you mean? And she's like, I know you like cooking. Why don't you just get my benches, get my fridges and everything, put on the ground floor of your house and just say, I don't know, it's up to you. And I'm like, for free? Yeah, just give it.
Yeah, I know.
And that was the start of Marina Machado Cakes.
Yeah.
The ground floor of my house now is a commercial kitchen, and with all the bench and everything that my neighbor gave to me, and then I had to increase the size of the kitchen because it became, a bit bigger. You needed more space, and that they start, and gave me what I was after. I was after to a bit more of a lifestyle with my family, be a mom, be an individual, be a woman, be a chef, be a pastry chef, and be a cake maker, a cake designer. So
that's such it's I've lived similar stories of people investing, seeing one's passion and investing in me, and I see that from your neighbor who had that school, right? So here we are with Marina Machado Cakes. In conversations with you before, I know that you bake from a purposeful place. Purpose fills your cakes. Purpose fills your baking, and it really is in line with the Cake Therapy Foundation, where I'm baking with a purpose. I'm trying to lean into women and girls, to bring out their passion and joys through food and through cake. I would like to know from you, Marina, what goes into your designs in Marina Machado Cake? Share with us your process, your approach to each cake.
Cake flavor, cake design, both?
Yes. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So look, if I can say something to whoever is going to watch us, is cook because it's gonna heal you. Somehow, whatever you want to cook, go deep, get lost in that process. You are not gonna see the clock. You're not gonna go, what time is it? It's suddenly you are into that, and it's heal you.
Yeah.
Okay. So for me, cooking is I cannot escape from cooking. I became addicted to cooking, and it's a positive addiction in my life because it is a healing process. So going back to a little bit of what happened in my life, as in the traumas I had in life when I was a child. When I got pregnant of my kids, remember I mentioned to you that I couldn't remember the traumas?
Yes, absolutely, you did.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. So I lived until 32 years old without remembering anything. But then the hormones of pregnancy kicked in.
Yeah.
And I dreams. How do you call recurring dreams? Is that right?
Yeah, recurring dreams. Yeah.
And I would wake up sweaty and going like, what did I just dream about? And pretty much my dreams started bringing memories from the past that my brain found a way to shut down to protect me, right?
Yeah.
And those were stored very deep in my brain, and nothing was getting it out.
Wow. So you literally blocked all of that out.
Completely.
Wow.
Completely.
So
looking back.
Yeah.
Sorry, tell me.
No, I wanted to ask, so it's the pregnancy that with this child that actually reactivated your memory of the things that happened to you back in Brazil or as a child?
Yeah. So pretty much I have 2 kids. So my first pregnancy was a very mellow pregnancy, was a calmer pregnancy with a lot of issues.
Yeah.
And the doctors, I have a friend, she bakes with me.
Okay.
We heal through baking. She goes to pastry courses and she comes back and she's like, Marina, look at my recipes. Let's cook together. She is a person and a big part of my journey. And I could just see how I lived life always in that adrenaline, the mess, we call, Simon and I called it the soap opera.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see, and throughout the pregnancy, I started having recurring dreams, but I would have pieces of memory and they were not together. It was not a story. It was suddenly a flash of that I had from the past without a story. And then I would the other night have another flash, and they were very on my face type of flashes. I would go like, you see?
Wow.
And and then I went to my doctor because I started getting very confused about it, and I just down in tears and told her all the memories I was having. And she's like, okay, we are gonna have to get a psychologist here. And I started a treatment for a long time, very slowly because of the pregnancy too. And it was 3 years of healing through letting to stop my panic attacks, because I would have the memories and have panic attacks. You see? And I'm like, and I'm not being able to puzzle anything. And it was a very difficult process, because also I needed to be able to puzzle. I needed to start touching base with my family, and you all those pieces and things get a bit big, and you don't want the soap opera back again, and so on. But throughout many, many years healing, and also with my second pregnancy of my little Luca, I got the second pregnancy of Trisha was a punch of hormones. Yeah. Guy came with all that Brazilian power in him and brought it to my body, and the memories were all puzzled up in a way that my real of healing started. So I met psychologists that could help me with some EMDR treatment, and it was a very, very hard journey. Yeah, but it was a rebirth for me.
Yeah.
It was a kiss of. It was rebirth. It was a chance of a second life.
Yeah. So were you baking through these things? Were you baking?
Always baking. Always went into a very deep process of bread during that time. I had to make bread every day. I had to get that dough going. Yeah. Dough. Then I went to therapy and I spoke to her. I said, I can't stop making dough. And she's like, because making dough is one of the processes of your mind. You block the panic attack and you let your mind go without panicking. So it was truly healing.
Yeah.
I'm always back with my psychologist just to make sure everything's okay and everything's gonna be okay when I panic a bit. And she's like, what are you cooking? I'm like, this time I just need a strawberry tart. It's a deep strawberry tart. I need that flavor. I need that kindness. So always baking, always
Yeah. So you hear that our guests are listening. So guys, you hear that baking is therapy. I bake from a similar place, Marina. I bake my baking, I learned my baking when I was pregnant with my girl, more specifically. And it was that baking that I received that helped me through postpartum depression. So my baby is actually alive because of baking. So I really do understand from that place, which, you bake. We share that in common. You often said you love making cakes. That you were meant to actually bake cakes. Do you think that this is where your legacy is? Is this where you want your legacy to be? To just be a cake maker, cake designer, cake artist? Tell me about the fine dining. Are you okay with pushing that aside?
I believe I was meant to cook.
Yeah. Oh, you were meant to cook.
I was meant to cook. That is part of my healing. There is no doubt about it. Yeah. If further in my career I'm not cooking for also to pay my bills for a financial purpose, I will be doing something else if it's going to be back to social work, which will include the cooking. Yeah. Because I can't get away from it. It's a part of me. It's my process. It's my safe place. Yeah. So as an example, I'll give you an example. This year, I cooked first half of the year. I cooked less than normally what I do because of international teaching courses. Yeah. Okay. So pretty much I go teaching, and then I need to come back and set up a time for me with nothing on, as in like no deliveries, so I can calm down, because the master classes for me, they are very, look, I am a very sensitive person, right? So I feel the vibe in the room. I come close to you and I feel what's going on. I look at your cake and I travel through your journey with you. Yeah. And that's one of the things, and that's one of the consequences of my trauma, if you think about it. I'm highly sensitive because I had to always read the room to be alive. Yeah. To please people, to be alive. And in therapy, once the therapist, she looked at me and she said, I have one thing to tell you. Never forget that also what happened to you made who you are. And that trait for me is a positive trait, because I can help people through feeling so much with them, you see? But then when I come back home, I'm dead, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired. Oh, Trisha, what was the question again? I can't stop.
No, you're answering the question. No, that's fine. Like, you're sharing with our listeners, like, very, they're getting to know you, and this is good. So you're really responding to the question.
I think I know. Oh yes. So yes. I to cook. Yeah. You see, I don't think I will be a cake designer forever. Yeah. Okay. So cake design, I'll tell you where cake design came from me. Because I started with cake making, the start of Marina Machado cakes. Yeah. And then I became a cake artist. Yeah. And I'll tell you what it is. There is another part of my childhood, which was a safe place, healing place for me, with my grandparents. Okay. So mom and dad would go to work. I was too young. So they would come and ask my grandparents look after me. And my grandmother, she was an artist. She was a painter, and a sculptor. And my grandfather, he was a lawyer, but retired, and his passion was to play chess with us all the time. So my afternoons would be in my grandmother's studio, carving massive pieces of wood with her, because she needed to work and she needed to entertain me. So come here and help me. Yeah. Or she will go, you know what, it's Easter time. Shall we make papier-mâché eggs? And then you can go with your mom and make little chocolate. And we'll put the little chocolates in the papier-mâché, and then we paint it, and then we give them. So my entire life was that. And when I was in cake making, I was missing doing something, creating something beautiful. I was sick of semi-naked cakes with fresh flowers. Yeah. You see? Okay. And I'm like, you know what? This is killing me. My passion is actually baking different stuff. It's different stuff. I can't just do the same all the time. Yeah. And this is killing me. Therefore, I'm gonna or quit and go back to kitchens, or I'm gonna give everything I can until the end, so I am sure this is not gonna work, or this is gonna work. Yeah. Then I was lucky enough to be invited by a stylist for and she has a very edgy, styling vibe, and I'm like, okay, this is my chance. I said, can I go to town? She's like, yeah, go to town. And then, Patricia, it was the first time I brought a crazy cake to life.
Yes.
Absolutely insanely crazy. The shoot was called Celestial Earth, and it was the connection between the stars and the ground and all of that. And I just went, you want your Earth? You're gonna get Celestial Earth. And then I made a beautiful brown cake with all imperfect and broken facades everywhere. Brown, deep brown. And I in that very imperfect surface, stars, and I painted it gold. And then the crates of the moon on the cake, very imperfect. And suddenly a massive golden ball like this, not ball, like a perfect shape, abstract, which was like a shooting star. And that cake went viral, my first cake that went viral. And from then on, I'm like, ooh, maybe there is a market. Because in my mind, there was never a market for artistic cakes where I live.
Yeah.
And then Lane invited me for another shoot, and I made 9 cakes for the Lane. And on that I just eyed my heart into my cake journey, my healing journey, and my cooking journey. You see, so that's when Marina Machado Cakes was born, as in artistry, not cake making.
Yeah, absolutely. Share our listeners, you may where does your inspiration come from then? You speak passionately about movement and, your art. Where do you get your inspiration from? Who inspires you? What inspires you?
So nature is my safe place, okay? Yeah. Nature, pretty much in my childhood, if I go back again, now I understand it a bit more. And my safe place was going to my mom's farm, riding our horses, going to creeks and bathing the horses. Yeah. Just enjoying the wind, the trees. It was just a safe place to be, and where I found myself. Yeah. I could be myself, okay? So it is the same for me now. I'm surrounded by nature. It's where I feel safe. I am always grounding. I'm always without shoes, walking, outside on the grass and walking through bushwalks and hugging trees. I'm a tree hugger. I'm telling you, I'm a tree hugger. The crazy, I mean it. If you are on a bushwalk at Tambourine Mountain and there is someone hugging a tree, it's me. So that's where I am. Love nature. I love the elements. They heal me. And I feel drawn when I'm feeling down, for example, and I need a bit of just cleansing, so on. I gotta go down to the waterfall and touch the water. That is it. I'm drawn to it as I'm drawn to cooking. Therefore, most of my cakes, mainly the ones from 3 years ago, they are very nature-based movement of water, movement of the wind, a cyclone.
Yeah, I know that cyclone cake, girl. That's really good. The cake was the acceptance of me as in a person that went through a lot of traumas, a person that was broken, but that person is still alive with a second chance of a beautiful life. Yeah. Actually knowing who I am now. Knowing who I am, who is Marina? Yeah. I'm this crazy woman, if you want to call me that. I don't mind. That loves cooking. It's just so deep in me. Yeah.
And that's
it. Isn't when you find that.
Yes. And cake, which I don't know when it will end, not soon, because I'm loving it. Yeah. And my cake journey is helping to find who I am. It will be a forever journey, Tricia. This is a blessing in my life. I am grateful for this chance to be a part of the cycle of nature, which is the produce we get, to be able to be a part of it, to provide something for people to eat and grow and heal. We are very blessed with this choice.
Indeed.
You see,
Indeed. Yeah. We when I talk about being, having had and gone through this similar experience, right? And I talk about cake in the form of therapy and how cake changed and saved my life. I want to ask you this. That this process of culinary, the kitchen and baking, has it changed, saved your life? Has it?
no doubt about it. Because when I cook, everything else stops.
Yeah.
My worries stop. My brain, which is one of my worst enemies, is how I'd worry go, and the anxiety, and I start being so harsh towards myself with the way I talk to me, like that always when I'm cooking. It's a kind healing process. I am safe when I'm cooking, and I actually go so deep into it. The obsession is so huge. I remember that I've got things in life, I've got my little, and now Luca, my son, is becoming so passionate about cooking that he wants to be in the kitchen with me. So I need to set up a time where he can come to my kitchen, and then healing through that too, because he's got a lot of energy, Luca. His energy that I have, and it can be much that you're like, oh my God, how am I gonna control this? Through cooking with him, he goes make cookies. Rolling the dough with me, making cookies. Oh, come on.
Absolutely.
It's going through generations now, Trisha. How beautiful!
Yeah, of course it is. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Because my daughter is into the kitchen with me. She loves being in the kitchen, and I started baking journey when I was pregnant with her. So I felt like I gave her the gift of baking.
Right?
Yeah, I absolutely did. So who would Marina be without the kitchen?
In a bit of a messy, crazy place, I would say, hey. I'll tell you, I'm going to London to teach on Saturday, right? And last week, it's been a very crazy wedding season for me. It was all at once in the second half of the year. I had 3 weeks ago, I delivered 6 cakes and a dessert table, 400 pieces, 500 pieces desserts. And from last week, I was broken physically because it's been so hard. It's a seasonal business, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I had 1 day off after I don't know how many days in a row working. And I just, Simon hubby said, oh, what are you gonna do? You're gonna read the book? I'm like, no, I just want everyone away from me. I want to come to my house, the kitchen, which is up here, and I just want to cook the whole day. I just want to cook. And I cooked all the meals for my husband for when I go to London. Does he need me to cook meals for him? No, he can cook himself. I just wanted that. That healed me. That gave me, that is my passion. That is my hobby, my passion. I don't need to have other hobbies because my job is my hobby.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I watch the time because that's healing for me. So it's therapy, meditation, mindfulness, all together in what I love.
Yeah. Marina, you being a mess without the kitchen. And I lead a foundation called the Cake Therapy Foundation. It's for women and girls who really experience immense amount of trauma. So there are some of our listeners who are here who are in a mess themselves right now. And would you share with them, would you share with these listeners when you bake, words of encouragement to them as they too are about to embark on this journey, and give them words of comfort that they too can?
Look, God, if I could, I would hug all of them. I'm a big hugger, you know that.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want to tell you, beautiful people that feel you can't do it anymore, that you can't take it anymore. And I've been in this place. And sometimes I still go back to the place of, I don't know if I can take this anymore. Can I just restart life somehow? Can life click and I'm born without the trauma I went through? I'm talking from a place of a person that went through very deep traumas, guys, that maybe I'm not ready to share in the specifics about it. However, I can promise you, I was not, look, if I kept going on that trauma throughout my entire life, adult life, I wouldn't be here. It was deep, it was, and it will always be deep. That's what I want to tell you, okay? Mm-hmm. If you are suffering and so on, that is a part of you. But that is your past. That is not what you are now. You have the opportunity in your life from now on to start your own journey understanding who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And I cannot wait to see who you are and what you are going to bring to this beautiful world of ours. Because you were born to share who you are, to bring to the world this beautiful you, right? And cooking can definitely be something that will heal you or help to heal you. A place of safety, a place of freedom, complete freedom, no judgment. There is no past and no future. It's now with cooking. Yeah. And blessed that is to be able to share what nature provides to us through cooking and to your table, being cakes or being the stew you're gonna cook, that beautiful stew you're gonna cook for hours, you see, and sit and share with people is a I will never want to not be. So I'm encouraging guys to cook, bake. Yeah. Baking is healing. Bread making, healing. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Marina says cook. I believe that cooking heals as well. Marina, before we wrap right here, right, I want you to, we also have budding baking entrepreneurs who are listening to us as well. Leave 2 tips with our young baking entrepreneurs. 2 tips. Would you like to leave? Yeah.
I have 2 tips. I have many tips. I can go on and on. You know me. But we need to cut it short. Don't we, Marina? Don't talk that much.
Yeah.
So my first is, you will find challenges on the way, okay? Never let them hold you back. Always keep in mind that you can feel fragile because the challenges are coming and you are like, I'm running out of energy. Take a step back, replan, and go for your life.
Yes.
Don't hold back. The needs you. You are in this to be a part of it, and we need you. So when you are feeling low in energy, just step back from the whole thing, and then you go when your energy is back. Okay?
Okay. Yep.
That's my first tip. My second tip is always provide what you love baking.
Yeah.
You see, if you are not proud of the flavors you're putting together, if you're like, oh, is it yummy? Or you're like, oh, I don't like the density of these, and so on, work on your skills. Invest in getting your skills up there, you know, so you are very proud of what you are providing. I am with my cakes. I'm like, oh, you want to taste my cakes? Yeah, you're going to taste my cakes. I put 8 flavors together with loads and loads of intricate elements because that's my palate. It needs to have, my palate doesn't work with just cake and buttercream. I was at the start of my journey making just cake, buttercream. Started doubting myself, but that is me. It doesn't mean it is the same with you. You gotta cook for yourself. You gotta be proud of what you do. It's what you love.
Yeah.
You know. So nowadays, as an example, I don't know if I've told you this, but I cook dessert tables too because it makes me feel just cakes. I need something else that comes with it where I can bring more variety and more flavor pairing.
Okay.
So when I back from London, I have another dessert to deliver, and it's a high tea dessert table. They are letting me cook whatever I want, and get ready, Altricia, because it's going to be fantastic. I have all the flavors happening. I have a lot of piping, high tea happening. So that is me. You see, I need to cook. I need dessert tables. I need cakes. I need my kitchen up here cooking for my family. So never let my tip is, cutting it short now because I always talk a lot, never let people put you in a box. Be what you want to be.
So cook and be yourself.
That's right.
Marina, what's in the pipeline for you? What is next? You mentioned London. What's next?
That's right. So, as you know, I started teaching masterclasses internationally. I did find out this year that being away from the kitchen was getting me depressed. And I'm like, oh my God, I can't teach. Like, I can't have that. I need to be back in the kitchen, you see. So, I had a big year, Tricia. I turned 40. Oh my God, I turned 40.
Happy birthday.
My journey here was actually realizing that for the time in my life, I learned not to work driven by adrenaline all the time. I think I became a little addicted to that because of so much trauma living through it, and then I carried that way of working, and then I hit 40. For me, it was 40. You hit 40 and your body tells you, you know what, you can't live by that anymore. You need to be kind to yourself. So for me, it's about kindness and self-love at the moment. That's my journey through my cakes. And how am I doing this? I'm getting the right balance between getting out there and helping people and being helped through my educational role in cake making, cake design. So I am going to London, and I might go to 2 or 3 more places next year maybe. And at the same time, I'm not decreasing my orders because I need to cook. So absolutely. I'm gonna take all my downtime, on my low season, and I'm gonna keep delivering my cakes on highs because it's my healing process. It's how I feel I bucket by cooking, by making smiles, and by exploring nature with my family, and then I go give my whatever from my bucket in courses and cake design, and then I fill it up again, and it goes like that for me.
So there's a term that I got from you when I was in training with you in February, and I use it all the time in that I do right now, is I have to ultimately feed my soul. I have to make cakes that I have to do work that actually feeds my soul. And you have fed our soul. You have fed the soul of my listeners today. And I want to thank you, Marina. I've been waiting to have this conversation with you. You know this. You know how I feel for you deeply as a person, not just Marina Machado Cake, but who Marina is and who Marina represents to me and me. And I want to say, Marina, thank you thank you for joining us on this podcast. I'd like to share with our listeners how they can find you online.
Yes, please. Yes, please. Look, thank you for having me. It is an absolute pleasure to be here, to be able to share my experience and just to be able to be helpful for whoever needs a little help. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm here for you guys. Please, Marina Machado Cakes, contact me if you would like to talk about whatever you want to talk about, your journey, my journey. Just send me a DM and I'm happy to help. I think this is the place that I'm meant to be. Also, we are meant to be. We are here.
Absolutely.
There is this reason, you see.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for having, and I am you. We need to cook together.
Yeah, we absolutely
We
do.
need to cook
We will.
together.
We will cook
Okay,
together.
we will.
Yeah, we definitely will cook together. I absolutely believe that. And you listen to Marina, DM her, she'll respond. Believe me. What I also want to say is, like, if you want to reach out to the Cake Therapy, you can to the Cake Therapy Foundation. Go on our website, is www.cake-therapy.org, and get involved with the foundation. In whatever way you can help us. The work is done for systems impacted women and girls. Marina is all about that life. She's all about pouring into women and girls, just like the Cake Therapy Foundation. I want to thank you for today's episode. I believe it's a blessing. It has blessed our listeners. And until next time, guys, thank you for joining us on the Cake Therapy Podcast, your slice of joy and healing with me and Marina Machado today. So thank you and see you next time.
Thank you for tuning in to the Cake Therapy Podcast. Your support means the world to us. Let us know what you thought about today's episode in the comment section. Remember to subscribe wherever you get your podcast. And if you found the conversation helpful, please share it with a friend. Also, follow Sugar Spoon Desserts on all social media platforms. We invite you to support Cake Therapy and the work we do with our foundation by clicking on the Buy Me a Coffee link in the description, or by visiting the Cake Therapy website and making a donation. All your support will go towards the Cake Therapy Foundation and the work we are doing to help women and girls. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next episode.